In a recent and highly discussed interview, UFC champion Sean Strickland found himself embroiled in controversy as he fearlessly shared his bold perspectives on a spectrum of societal matters. The dialogue between Strickland and an inquisitive Canadian journalist delved into intricate subjects, ranging from political inclinations to the nuances of gender identity education and the trans community. This exchange led to fervent debates marked by intense back and forths and emotionally charged statements. Don't miss. What are UFC champ? Sean Strickland's views on Justin Trudeau. How does Strickland perceive the concept of multiple genders? What controversial statements did Strickland make about the trans community?
I'm glad to hear it's been great.
Are you Canadian?
I'm glad to hear it's been great. Are you Canadian? Discusses a sudden change in mood and explores the potential link between the champion's nationality and the current debate.
Of course I am.
Are you part of the fucking opposition? Are you?
I don't know how to phrase that.
You got like fucking. Yeah.
You got like fucking. Nah. The champion's approach is met with a sense of indifference when examined by Canadian journalists.
Well, I did want to ask you.
Did you vote for Trudeau?
I'm not going to say.
Did you vote for Trudeau? I'm not going to say. The ability to identify attempts to inject political elements into discussions and question the credibility of investigations.
And let me tell you something right now. If a man says he's not going to say, like if you ask a motherfucker, did you vote for Biden? He's like, well, I'm not going to say. That's none of your business. He voted for fucking Biden.
Sean,
so, hey,
Sean, I'm glad you've had great experiences.
So this is what I'm talking about, you guys. The enemy of Canada.
Sure.
So this is what I'm talking about. You guys, the enemy, from the enemy of Canada, into the recognition of the dualistic approach of labeling people as adversaries based on their political leanings.
That's what it's got to be. It's got to be. We've got a pretty supportive gay and lesbian community in this city.
That's got to be. It's got to be. We've got a pretty supportive gay and lesbian community in this city. The journalist actively directs the conversation towards LGBTQ+ topics, showcasing a deliberate inclination in their retorting efforts.
I did want to ask you about something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said, if I had a gay son, I would think I'd...
Oh, look, another I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
You become a champion, you become a star, and someone would say...
Let me ask you something. Are you gay?
Have you had the chance to interact with a more diverse...
Are you gay?
Could I get an answer?
Well, I'm asking, this is a part of, are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
I'm an ally of the community. Okay, if you had a son and he was like, yes, honey was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you want a grandkid, into the viewpoints of champions regarding LGBTQ+ issues and the complexities of family dynamics.
No problem with it.
Oh man, well, dude, you're a weak fucking man, dude. You're part of the fucking problem.
Oh man, why did you a weak fucking man, dude? You're part of the fucking problem. The individual strongly opposes the champion, expressing his disagreement by vehemently challenging the journalist's perspectives.
You elected Justin Trudeau, when he sees the bank accounts, you're just fucking pathetic. And the fact that you have no fucking backbone and has he shut down your fucking country and seized bank accounts, you ask me some stupid shit like that, go fuck yourself. Move the fuck on, man.
The fact that you have no fucking backbone and then has he shoot down your fucking country and seize bank accounts, you asked me some stupid shit like that. Go fuck yourself, move the fuck on, man. The champion passionately expresses discontent, using fiery language to convey the perception that Canada is seen as lacking resilience and independent thought.
That doesn't really answer the question, but I did want to ask also things you said about the trans community.
And that's really a question. But I did want to ask also things you said about the trans community. The sensitive topic of the UFC champion's views on the transgender community. A journalist aims to carefully navigate the complexities and subtleties of this intricate discussion.
You said this past October when they announced the Bud Light sponsorship that you'd go so hard on Bud Light in your next fight, they'll have to accept me or denounce me when they know what, and we'll know what they stand for.
This guy's like, this Canadian's not that Canadian.
Are you still going to use your fight time to kind of speak on that?
Here's the thing about Bud Light. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental fucking illness.
Here's the thing about Bud Light. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental fucking illness. A UFC champion provides a strong perspective that weaves together historical insights with thoughtful opinions on transgender identity.
And now all of a sudden, people like you have fucking weaseled your way in the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of weakness.
And now all of a sudden, people like you have fucking weaseled your way in the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of a weakness. Employs strong interrogatory language, expressing intense negative feelings towards the journalist and, by extension, the transgender community.
Everything that is wrong with the world is because of fucking you. And the best thing is the world's not buying it.
Everything that is wrong with the world is because of fucking you. And the best thing is the world's not buying it. UFC champions assert a viewpoint, attributing certain societal challenges to the transgender community, a perspective met with widespread global disagreement.
The world's not buying your fucking bullshit you're fucking peddling. The world is not saying, you know what, you're right, fucking chicks have dicks. The world's not saying that.
The world's not saying, you know what, fucking chicks have dicks. The world's not saying that. Explores the limitations of narrow and rigid viewpoints on gender, emphasizing the reluctance to recognize the broad spectrum of human identities within the gender spectrum. It highlights the need for a more inclusive approach that embraces the diverse range of gender identities.
The world's saying, no, there are two genders.
The world's saying, no, there are two genders. Embracing a firm belief in a binary view of gender, rooted in conventional scientific discussions.
I don't want my kids being taught about, who they could fuck in school. I don't want my kids being taught about, their sexual preference.
I don't want my kids being taught about, who they could fuck in school. I don't want my kids being taught about, their sexual preference. In response to educational concerns, there is a desire to limit exposure to certain subjects while prioritizing the protection of parental rights.
Like, dude, this guy is a fucking enemy. You want to look at the fucking enemy to our world? It's that motherfucker right there, asking these stupid fucking questions.
Dude, this guy is a fucking enemy. You want to look at the fucking enemy to our world? It's that motherfucker right there, asking these stupid fucking questions. Explore the personality of a powerful figure who regards the journalist with contempt, conveying disapproval in the assertive language reminiscent of a UFC champion's confrontational demeanor.
Sorry, I told the UFC I was being nicer. Lance, am I still good with this? Did I cross any lines? Hello, what the fuck? I didn't say the F word. You just brought this fucking guy in here to piss me off.
In a revealing interview, Sean Strickland boldly expresses his firm opinions on politics, gender identity education, and the transgender community. The conversation highlights the contentious nature of these topics, as Strickland vehemently opposes perceived societal shifts and voices frustration with the reporter's queries. This incident sparks inquiries into the complex interplay between sports, individual beliefs, and public conversations. Sean Strickland critiques a journalist, purportedly in support of Justin Trudeau, voicing concerns about the political climate and the rise of authoritarian socialism in Canada. Individual political beliefs wield influence over interactions, democracy, and personal freedoms. Strickland has articulated robust opinions on gender identity and sexual orientation, contending that the scientifically proven recognition of only two genders should prevail. He expresses discontent with the inclusion of such topics in educational settings. The assessment of Strickland's perspective factors in the influence of both traditional and scientific values. The hypothetical response of the journalist to having a gay son becomes a focal point for Strickland's critique, emphasizing a perceived absence of traditional values. The intricate interplay of family dynamics, societal expectations, and personal beliefs in shaping parenting attitudes is underscored. Certain social changes, like the acceptance of transgender individuals, are viewed by Strickland as a potential threat. The challenge lies in understanding how individuals can project such perceptions onto the public realm under the guise of administrative decisions, rather than reflecting a collective choice. Strickland's communication style, characterized by aggression and potent language, necessitates consideration of how individuals assert their beliefs and confront challenges to their values. His resistance to cultural shifts in attitudes towards gender and sexuality is linked to notions of change, adaptation, and individual autonomy. Notably, parental rights are positioned as safeguards against government overreach. Children are not to be treated as mere parental playthings. Any attempt to manipulate children for ulterior motives is unequivocally denounced as child abuse and a heinous crime.
What do you think?
I promote myself and my videos. Hello, I'm Bong Sim, a Canadian resident of Asian descent. During the day, I work as a professional counselor, and at night, I do Uber food delivery. Instead of speaking in my videos, I prefer to express myself through writing. In today's world, speaking the truth can have serious consequences, both for my professional life and personal well-being. That's why I'm choosing to pen down my thoughts and using a platform to share them on my behalf. Some people find my videos uninteresting, too strict, and they even criticize the appearance of the individuals featured, including their tiredness, Asian, or perceived flaws. I understand these concerns, but I genuinely believe in the purpose behind creating these videos. Unfortunately, recent Canadian legislation has resulted in the censorship of free speech and online content. And although Google hasn't explicitly admitted their involvement, I suspect they play a part in it. Despite my efforts to monetize my content on YouTube, I haven't been able to earn any income from it. I've tried 3 times, and all my attempts were rejected. They turned me down for reasons like lacking creativity, not having a recognizable face, or not having a distinct voice. Nevertheless, I've made several adjustments to my videos, hoping to overcome these challenges. If you share my belief and support what I'm doing, I would genuinely appreciate your backing.